Hi, welcome back everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. I'm going to do a little bit of tinkering in this video with the Cobra F9 Speedback Driver and with the weights of it. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to test it with the weights as they are. So we know in the F9 we've got a 14 gram weight, which is the red colour, against a 2 gram, and obviously switching those front to the back can obviously change launch and spin conditions of the driver. So typically the red one in the front section suits me more, but what I'm going to do in this video is hit some in that setting and then hit some and take the 2 gram weight out, so just leave one weight in, and then remove both weights and hit more balls, so there's actually 16 gram less weight in the head. So similar to like videos I've just done recently where obviously Titus have brought out TS1, a lighter headed driver for maybe that slower swing speed. Let's see what taking the weights out, how it possibly changes ball speed, spin numbers, distance, and maybe a little bit of accuracy as well. Okay, so we're going to start off with that heavy weight, the red one, 14 gram weight in the front section, 2 gram in the back. I've got a 9-degree head and I've got it in a hazardous smoke shaft. Let's get this first one hit. That's a nice strike. Pretty neutral opener. Maybe just cut that a little bit into that heel side. Won't be probably the longest one I've hit, so 284. That was a better strike. Again, lovely ball flight to that. Again, pretty neutral. And that one's getting up to 290. That's a better hit. Spin a little bit high there, so 2900 on its spin. Again, this is where I would love to try and get that spin number down. Again, good strike, really neutral. That's trundling up to that just over that 290, 291 mark. Okay, let's get one more hit. Oh, that's a tiny bit on the bottom. Again, it's pretty neutral. I know it's just going to spin a little bit more, I think, with that one. Yeah, 282, so not the longest ones there. Again, yeah, 3400 spin. I know when I hit that bottom strike, even with that weight in the front, which is the low spin one, I tend to get that spin climbing up a bit. So I'm desperate to get this spin down. So what I'm going to do in this next batch of shots I'm going to hit, I'm just going to remove that 2 gram weight and just put nothing in that back section and just leave the 14 gram weight in the front. So in theory, we're maybe just trying to push that CG further forward, which again is trying to reduce spin. Okay, so remove that 2 gram weight in the back, so I've just got the one weight, the red 14 gram in the front. So let's see if this can just lower that spin a little bit. First feel of that, I can't really, if I'm being brutally honest, feel any difference in the weight of that head. Obviously it's only 2 grams, it's not a massive amount, but let's see if it does anything. Okay, so let's turn that up the left a fraction there. Yeah, just a little bit pulley, a little bit turning over. That probably will pull a bit of spin off. See, that's 2100 spin, but that's probably a little bit more through a little bit of the shot shape there, to be honest. Interesting to see if I get a little bit more neutral, what that spin number comes out at. Okay, it's a good strike. That's a bit more neutral. Needs a bit more carry there. Yeah, a little bit more distance. 301, and that spun at just over 2500, so that was better. Good strike. Again, loving the accuracy of that. Just edging up to that 290 mark. Yeah, that one spun at 2900. Okay, let's get another one hit. Okay. 290 on that one. So that was definitely lower in the club face strike, but that only spun at just under 2500. So let's have a quick look at those numbers, just the difference between two weights and just obviously that one 14 gram weight. Right, so F9 with both weights in and obviously heavyweight in the front section. Ball speed 163.2, so decent ball speed for me there. Launching 8.3, always tend to launch that ball out a little bit low and spinning at 3,000, which is too high. So even though that heavyweight in that front section, we're seeing that spin getting a little bit high for me. And we know strike plays obviously a part of that, and my miss tends to be either centred to slightly in that low section, which always just pops that spin up a little bit more, and that average at 267 through the air, running out 287. So then removing that 2 gram weight at the back, so just leaving the 14 gram weight in the front, so potentially that's pushing a little bit of CG further forward by taking that weight out of that back section. Ball speed fractionally quicker, but nothing minimal really. Launch very much the same, but the spin is quite a bit lower there, good probably 500 revs lower. Again, strikes might have played a little bit of part of that, but I'm guessing, you know, just taking that little bit of weight out of that back is just helping be a little bit more low spin. So I didn't really feel a massive difference between the feel of the club with the weight in, the weight out. 2 grams isn't huge, but can make a bit of a difference. So 271 against 294, so squeezing a little bit more yardage out there with just half a mile an hour on average more ball speed. And if we just have a quick look at the club head speed on there, so you see 113.3 against 113.0, so pretty much identical on the club head speed. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove the 14 gram weight and have no weight at all. So potentially I'm 16 grams lighter in the head, and be interesting to see what happens to that swing speed. Right, so I've now taken both weights out, so I am 16 grams lighter than what you would be with 2 of those weights in there. So obviously this is going to have an effect with swing weight, which, you know, we've got to obviously take into account, and it's maybe something that you might not want to sort of do because obviously what we can see now is actual holes into the inside of the club head, so potentially debris can sort of get into the actual inside of the head, which isn't obviously great. But let's give this a go. I'm interested to see what it does to that club head speed. As I say, we've seen a little bit of, you know, with TS1 from Titleist bringing out that lighter head, that's 8 grams lighter than TS2. And obviously this is now 16 grams lighter than what I've just been hitting with both weights in. So interesting to see. Definitely feel that lighter head now. Feels like I can get this going fast. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's come out lovely. Struck that great. So first opening tee shot there. Yeah, 294. Felt really nice, that. Felt quicker, probably not massively to be honest, but flight was lovely. Again, lovely ball flight. Still, it's not really affected the flight there, it's still going forward, just slightly up that left-hand side. Yeah, it's dropping off a tiny bit there, 286, spun at just over 2,800. Again, really interested to see club head speed. Does feel faster. I guess it's not huge, but should see some gain in speed. Oh, that's an awful strike. That's a real bottom necky one. We'll still have a club head speed on that, obviously, but 278. It's not done too bad from that strike. That felt pretty horrendous. Again, that's low heel. Maybe that's where obviously that extra weight out of it, swing weight wise, struggling maybe to feel where that head is through that downswing. Potentially, possibly strikes like that. But again, it won't affect club head speed, so we'll see what that club head speed is actually doing. So okay, so let's look at numbers again and see maybe what's happened there with taking both of those weights out. Okay, so looking at the yellow section here at the bottom, so with no weights at all in the head, so we see actually ball speed has decreased slightly by about 1 mile an hour to half a mile an hour, depending on which one we're sort of looking at there, but so we're actually a little bit slower. Launched a lot lower. Again, those heel strikes there kill me, you know, see 5 degree, that's just a poor strike. Low heel, always going to launch lower, so that's pulling my averages down. Well, let's look at that club head speed. So 113.3 with the normal weights, 113 with the 2 gram weight out, which sound pretty much identical, didn't really change anything, but then jumped up to 115, obviously with that 14 gram weight. So taking that heavy weight out has definitely made a difference to that club head speed, as we would expect. You know, at the end of the day, it's a good 14 grams to 16 grams lighter in the actual head weight, so bound to create a little bit more speed coming through. And it has done that, but you can see it doesn't always translate into ball speed because of strike. So maybe just losing that little bit of feel. First two were okay, but again, even the first two, 163, 163, it's not a comparison increase of ball speed in relation to that club head speed. So it hasn't actually been more efficient for me there. And averaging there 261. Again, those heel strikes are sort of killing me a little bit. Okay guys, so there we go. There's a little bit of tinkering with weights in the driver. Sort of a bit more of an experimenting more than anything, just give some results maybe to you guys. And obviously there's a lot of options you can do. So potentially through those weights, you could just have two 2-gram weights in there, making that weight saving of about 12 grams. Or you could actually have two 14-gram weights in there, so obviously increasing the total weight of the head by 12 grams. So there's a little bit tinkering. Again, it's a lot to do with how you as an individual like to feel the club head, maybe through the numbers a little bit as well, and maybe through strike and sort of dispersion as well. Obviously, you've got to always remember there's going to be some form of balancing to do with the swing weight when you start adding and removing weight to that club head. So obviously do take that into account and obviously get working with a good fitter to sort of advise you in that aspect. So yeah, comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on that video, taking weights out, seeing that club head speed gain, but not ball speed. So it's always an interesting one. Club head speed isn't everything. For the real good ball strikers out there, club head speed tends to transfer then into more ball speed, which is a good thing, and trying to maximise distance. But maybe you've always got to look at your strikes around that club face, as always. Very important. Okay. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate you watching as always. If you haven't subscribed and enjoy the content, do hit that subscribe button. Very much appreciated. Ring that bell to get notifications of any future videos. As soon as they land on my channel, you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. Follow up on my social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter, and the handles there are at MN Golf Coach. Appreciate you watching as always, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.